Shalom, all praises to the Most High, all praises to His holy name. Well, today's topic, the Most High had already allowed me to put the scriptures together. I put a few more in it today. But what really pushed me to bring in this message today through the Spirit, I was watching people in relationships as far as what they desire out of a mate. And I was trying to do a fair evaluation with integrity. Like I said, this is not a judgment message. It's a goal message, something that you can aspire to, because we all have fallen short of integrity at some time in our lives. And then as I was listening to people talk, and don't judge me in this either. This is just my opinion based on my observation. So what I found was, when I was watching, in my opinion, and then I'm going to get to Most High's opinion, who overrides my opinion. But in my opinion, I saw people who have made decisions. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but people who have made decisions in prior relationships, and on the women's side, they had children. So then they want to have a certain type of man. And the one I did see, he had no children. But they want to say he had lack of integrity because he didn't want to choose a woman with children already. And then they got others who thought like she thought, and they bullied up on the man and said he was wrong. He had lack of integrity because he didn't want to take on her children. But I saw it differently. I said the man showed you great integrity because he told you the truth. So what if he'd have lied to you and slept with you and then say, I don't want your children? That would have been lack of integrity. No, he told you the truth up front, and you didn't want to accept his truth. There's other men out there who would gladly take you on with your children. He's just not one of them. Then on the other side, I saw a beautiful young lady, and they asked her, would you want a fat man? She said, not intentionally, meaning in case some kind of, and I don't believe in Cupid, but I'm going to use the example. Unless Cupid shot me in the behind, and I couldn't help it. That's what she was saying. But she said she would intentionally want a fat man. Is she wrong for that? No, that's her choice. See, the problem is people want to have force you to take on what they bring to the table if you don't choose to. And then they say you have lacking integrity, but actually that's lacking integrity on their side. Because the people were honest. Let's go to the term integrity. Integrity is a noun. Etymology Online Dictionary. Century 1400, integrite, innocence, blameless, chastity, purity. I wish I'd have read this beforehand right now. Then I'd have looked up in the sealed portion, because the Most High said He loves women with charity. He loves His daughters that have charity. Chastity. So that means integrity. So maybe I have to look it up and put it in the comment section when I find that section. But I read it before. He said He loves His daughters to have chastity, integrity. Since 1400, integrate, innocence, blameless, chastity, purity. Otherwise, he said, who can find a virtuous woman? Who can find one? Because what I saw and listening to people, they want what they want, but they don't want to bring integrity into it. They say that you're lacking integrity, but really they're just trying to force you to accept them, even though you don't want to accept that in your life. That's not integrity. And there's nothing wrong with that if a man or woman don't want you. That's not their choice. And you can't try to manipulate them and saying that they're wrong. And in that point, I'm not talking about righteousness or wickedness. That's just their choice. They don't have to accept you. I'm talking about me too. There's somebody out there for you. You can't expect to have a bunch of children and then want certain men or certain women that don't want that in their life. You can't get mad at them for that. You got to go and try to find somebody else that don't mind having that. And integrity, don't try to trick them into it. Tell them up front, be honest, like the young man was trying to do. And they said he was lacking integrity. And I think he showed great integrity, because he could have lied to you and slept with you, because that's what you were trying to do in the first place. And then you'd have been talking about ain't no good men. It's vice versa. Men lie to women too. So I try to be fair. Soundness, wholeness, completeness. Figuratively, purity, correctness, blameless. The sense of wholeness, perfect condition, is attested from mid-15th century, that of soundness of moral principle and character, entire uprightness or fidelity, especially in regard to truth and fair dealing, is by 1540s. Well, that sums it up. That's what the Most High say to him. Because after all, he is the author of integrity. We're just going to go to the scriptures. Romans chapter 14, 5 through 7. One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth a day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. He that regarded the day regarded it unto Yahweh. He that regarded it not the day, to Yahweh does not regard it. He that eat it to Yahweh, for he give it all thanks. He that eat it not to Yahweh, he eat it not, and give it all thanks. For none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. Psalm 7:8. All law shall judge the people. Judge me, O all law, according to my righteousness, according to my integrity that is in me. So this is something to aspire to. This all comes under the thing of love your brother and as yourself. You want to do you don't want nobody to do nothing to you that you won't want done to yourself. You want to do that to somebody else. I'm talking about I'm using the positive perspective that everyone can aspire to. You wouldn't want nobody to do nothing to you that you do to them. You wouldn't want them to do nothing to you that you wouldn't do to yourself. Psalm 26:2. Examine me, O all law, and prove me. Try my reins and my heart. That's why I said I try the reins and the heart. He literally does it. I'm going to the book of Proverbs in the Northern Kingdom definitions or explanations based on the word of God. All of the header reads, the state and rewards of the righteous and the wicked are contrasted. When a wicked man dies, his expectations perish. He who wins souls is wise. A false deceptive scales, example made to deceive. A deceptive scale balance is an abomination to all law. But a just weight is delight. He said, don't be trying to deceive people. Be honest with one another. Let somebody make a balanced choice based on a balanced situation, based on the opportunity to choose for themselves whether they can honestly do right or wrong. Don't lie to them and try to deceive them. Amos 8:5, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn in the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balance by deceit. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of the transgressor shall destroy them. Integrity. In the integrity of my heart, I have done this. Genesis 20:5. Said he not unto me, she is my sister. She even she herself said, he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocent of my hands, I've done this. See, she a beautiful woman. So what I can go and try to talk to her. I can try to shoot my shot to see if I can win her heart. But I did this in the integrity of my heart because you said that was your sister. And she said you was her brother. She was on the internet. She said she didn't have no husband. What's she doing on the single site then? Walk in integrity of heart. 1 Kings 9:4. If you will walk before me as David your father walked, in integrity of heart and uprightness, to do according to all that I've commanded you, and will keep my statutes and my judgments. Still he holdeth fast to his integrity. Job 2:3. And Yahweh said unto Satan, have you considered my servant Job? That there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feared all law and eschewed evil. And still he holdeth fast his integrity, although you moving me against him to destroy him without cause. Till I die, I will not remove my integrity from me. Job 27:5. All law forbid that I should justify you. Till I die, I will not remove mine integrity from me. That all law may know my integrity. Job 31:6. Let me be weighed in an even balance. In the balance. That all may know my integrity. See, you can't know somebody's integrity if you set it up to make them fail. That's wicked. That's not balanced. Integrity of the upright shall guide them. Proverbs 11:3. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. Just man walking in his integrity. Proverbs 20:7. The best way to try to walk in integrity is to read these words and put them in your heart so they can guide your steps as a lamp. That's what the scripture said. So a righteous man's steps are guided by Allah, not by what he or she say from people that say your friends. A lot of times they'll guide you by what's in their heart. And a lot of times that's to get something for themselves and not in your best interest. Proverbs 20:7, the just man walking in his integrity, his children are blessed after him. Men who were true at all times. I can give a testimony, even though I didn't know a lot of things. I was stupid a lot of times, but I did try to walk in my integrity. And when I did make my most greatest errors a lot of times, is because I listened to others that was guiding me wrong. I'm telling you that for your own sake. Why? Because they wanted me to fall. But the Most High had me in his hand. That I can remain upright and standing on my feet when he brings me knowledge that I can really stand. Men who are true at all times, Alma 53:20. I'm not trying to tell you I ain't never made mistakes. I never said that. I'm just trying to tell you everything I did in my life, I'll try to have integrity. But you got to have knowledge to really have integrity. Because if not, you'll listen to others without integrity and they'll guide you in the wrong path while smiling in your face. And that's what a lot of times people in relationships are turning out bad. Because women listen to their friends who don't really have their best interests at heart. So they can be miserable like them and don't have a mate. Let a good man walk out their life based on what they tell them. And vice versa. There was a preacher one time that said that. He said, you women, keep on listening to your friends, and you're going to be outside looking in, and they're going to be inside looking out at you laughing. Alma 53:20, and they were all young men, and they were exceedingly valiant for courage, and also for strength and activity. But behold, this was not all. There were men who were true at all times, and whatsoever thing they were entrusted. Yahweh, love him because of the integrity of his heart. Doctrine and Covenants 124 and 15. And again, verily I say unto you, blessed is my servant, for I, Yahweh, love him because of the integrity of his heart. And because he loveth that which is right before me, says Allah. Be trusted because of the integrity of his heart. That's what the Most High is looking for, people he can trust. Only thing is, he already knows if he can trust you or not. He's just letting you see if you can trust yourself, that you can be trusted. So that's the problem with a lot of time relationships. A lot of time relationships don't last because you know both want it, either man or female. You already know y'all can't be trusted. You might as well just be honest with the man or woman. Say, all I really want from you is for you to dig my guts out, or let me dig your guts out. At least you're honest. Don't come to a man or woman talking about I want a relationship with you. I want to that forever love with you when you only want that one night. Stop lying to people. That's more integrity than lying. You still ain't right, but at least you ain't lying. You leave them an opportunity to go ahead and find that right one. If you want to, if you after you one of those people that want to be married only for in this world's system for the amount of time that you can get have, and then you're gonna divorce them. Although you're not gonna, I'll be honest and tell them that though, but you should. See, it's an integrity issue. Doctrine and Covenants 124 and 20. And again, verily I say unto you, my servant is without guile. He may be trusted because of the integrity of his heart. And for the love which he has to my testimony, I, Yahweh, love him. See, integrity plays a big part in the Most High loving you. See, a lot of times people putting in their own mind, they really after something and not that someone. And because they're coveting that something that someone can give them, they believe in their heart that they love that someone, but they really love what that someone can do for them. Until they can't do it no more, and then their love dissipates. That was never there in the first place. Because they got what they came after. That's something. But then they realize a lot of times that something is going to dissipate, and then they realize, male or woman, they should have stayed with that someone. Because the blessings really came with that someone. And now they're out and about, male and female, or female, they're out searching for that someone and those somebodies who only use up their bodies and their things with no love. Now they brokenhearted because they can't find that someone that they had. And is that right for male or female to destroy someone else's life when you was trying to destroy their life in the first place? When they was trying to do right by you, but you wasn't doing right by them, but now that you can't find that somebody that you once had, now you're gonna hold it against them and destroy their lives? When all they try to do is love you, is that right? Is that integrity? No, that's wicked. I could not deny it. Northern Kingdom history or Joseph Smith history, 1 and 25. So it was with me. I had actually seen a light. In the midst of that light, I saw two personages, and they did in reality speak to me. And though I was hated and persecuted for saying that I had seen a vision, yet it was true. And while they were persecuting me, reviling me, speaking all manner of evil against me falsely, for saying I was led to say in my heart, why persecute me for telling the truth? That's what the young man was doing. He was telling the woman the truth. Yeah, I could sleep with you. I can do these things to you, but I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be the father of your children because I'm not their father. But she got some others with herself to persecute him because he was telling the truth. She rather for him to lie to her and sleep with her, and then she can say, ain't no good man. Now it leads back to, was she being had integrity? What was it that what she really wanted was him to sleep with her in the first place? If that was the case, she should just said it. But he told her the truth. He said, no, I don't want that in my life. And I don't want to lie to you about it. I've actually seen a vision and who I am and who am I that I can withstand all of? Or why does the world think to make me deny what I've actually seen? See, a lot of times you've seen a lot too in your relationships. And to be honest, you've been shown a vision. And if you had the ability to open your eyes and see what was happening right before you, like I had been a lot of times, and young women that I've known, and it's vice versa. It's right there in you seen the vision. It's right in your face. A lot of times what they call love. You say you blinded by love in your eyes, but ain't no love coming at you. That's just deception coming your way, but you can't see it because you in love. A lot of times that love is, Stacey Lattisaw said, a one-way street. For I had seen a vision, I knew it, and knew that Allah knew it, and could not deny it. Neither dared I do it. At least I knew that by doing so doing, I would offend Allah and come under condemnation. Once again, I'm not saying no names. I can only give my testimony, and all about. As a matter of fact, I'm convinced that those powers that was working against me set these things up. When I was, my wife had divorced me. Once again, not nothing about against her. I'm just telling my story. And divorce don't really happen when paperwork get filed. I'll leave it up to you women who know the truth. And they even tell you about these situations and the people that give their stories about relationships. Usually they say when a woman leaves you, she already left you either a year ago or more than that, or months ago. You already was divorced before the paperwork even drew dry. Now I'm not gonna say nothing because I don't want to judge nobody. But you know the truth. When somebody says something like, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, or if I leave, can I come back? You know what that means. I'm not lying. I'm just giving my testimony. And I'm not accusing nobody. But you people that know how relationships go, you know what that means. I didn't even know what that meant. You so stupid. I didn't know what that meant. I found that out through watching movies and listening to other people talk. Saw a movie on, and the woman told him, "You so stupid." That was told to me. And in that movie, I found out what that meant. This one young lady, who tells the truth in favor of men, because she's tired of men being screwed over. She tells the truth from a woman's perspective. And I'm not saying this to hurt nobody. I'm saying this to help somebody. Because there's a lot of people going through these things. Different people, but same scenarios. Why? Same spirits. So don't think I'm after nobody. I'm trying to help people. Because people's hearts are hurting right now. Going through these situations. And in some cases, The people that hurt people, they're at a different place in their life now. They're better people. They have integrity now. But at that time, when those things happen, I'm not saying some people remain the same. They still not right. But this don't fit everybody. Some people have moved on into a better place. That's why I'm not judging nobody. I'm just judging the situations that's in people's lives. And the scriptures say there's no temptation that's not common to man. Everybody goes through this. There's different people. Some people you bless if you don't. That's why I'm giving those scenarios. And I listen to those people, those women, because I don't know, I don't think like a woman. I'm not a woman. But it says a man knows the spirit of a man and a woman knows the spirit of a woman. So the women say that was given the information, she said, when you hear something like, I love you, I'm not in love with you, or I want to go and try something else, and that's because they already done tried something else. That's what she said. But they want to try to hold on, and just in case they got to come back. And then the other side of that is, a lot of times when they do that, a lot of times the male or the woman are successful now. And a lot of times people come back because they don't really love the person. They just want to be part of that success, so they can do it again. But those other situations is people realize they lost a good thing versus male or woman, because they can't find that what they had. Because now they feel like they're being used and abused. They're not loved. They only been used for their body, so what they can do for somebody. The same thing they was doing to you, they receiving it back. Once again, I'm not blaming nobody. I'm not after nobody. I'm just trying to help somebody. Because there's people going through this as I speak. And I can tell you from my point of view, I can only give you my testimony without naming names. And like I said, at a time when I was working, like I said, I don't know if the women really liked me or not, but they were beautiful. From what I know now, more likely they were sent. But whether they were sent or not, that even shows more integrity on my part. Why? Because they sent, that means they sent to sleep with you, so they can accuse you. But I didn't know them things was going on. I just thought I was good looking. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So I thought I was so good looking. I said, well, I'm not married. My wife divorced me, so. But at the time, I didn't know about how divorce really is. Divorce happens as soon as the heart is turned away. It's not based on a paperwork. That's the system's idea of divorce. That's why the Most High said, when you turned your heart away from me. That's why I said, come back to me. That's what the Most High says to his people. That's divorce. So as the partner turns their heart away from you. That's divorce. And once again, they try to help somebody. They stop sleeping with you. Once again, I'll let you answer that. People that know. But the women already told you, based on, from a woman's personal point of view, they already told you when the partner starts sleeping with you, that's your wife or husband, once they stop sleeping with you, they already told you what's going on. Once again, I ain't here to judge you. I'm here to help you. And Paul said, in such cases, the one that's guilty is called the unbeliever. And the other is not bound to that unbeliever anymore. They're free to marry only in your house, to remarry. Once again, I'm here to help you. And sometimes just giving somebody's testimony helps you. Why? Because you can relate. Why? Because you're going through it at this time. And the Most High said He always allows you a way of escape. And what union does the devil have with God? That's called unequally yoked. So back again, like I said, when I was at my job, I had 2 women that were sent to me because they already knew that my wife had divorced me. As she already told you, she divorced. She put the paperwork in twice. So this is not at the time, I'm not accusing her. I'm not saying nothing bad about her, but that's just my testimony. And during that time, they had 2 women on my job. And right now, I think they were sent to me to see what I would do. And if the enemy sends you somebody to see what you're going to do, really, believe me, if they sent to you, they willing to go all the way through with it. So it wasn't a thing of, I don't know how far they went, but usually if the enemy send you someone to test you like that, they willing to go all the way through with it. See how far you going to go. So I had a young lady. Remember, this is just to help somebody, not to hurt nobody. That's why I ain't giving no name. That was beautiful and curvaceous. They came to my dorm room, and when she came in there, first I was sitting on my bed. I didn't know she was coming. Knocked on the door. I said, "Come on in." Then she comes in, and lays on my bed. I get up and go sit on the chair at the desk in my room. You gotta believe me already. I'm already thinking that my significant other at the time was infidelity. So that was in my head, based on situations and things I know about. Once again, I'm not accusing nobody. I'm just giving my testimony. Then the young lady lays on my bed in such a way I can see the curvaceousness of her behind, because she's curvy. And then I think about, well, my wife divorced me. But then I think about, man, the Most High don't like that. And I'm not lying to you. That's what went through my mind. And then she hands me a Jet magazine book, she goes to the page of the models who's curvaceous in the book. She said, someone like, man, she's curvy, come pool. I said, yep. The whole time, I remained sitting on the chair. I didn't go nowhere near. But I'm a man. I see them curves. But in my mind, I didn't know nothing about the Most High when they tell you that divorce happens as soon as the heart is turned away. Not being able to sleep with my wife at the time. Not because I didn't want to. She wouldn't let me. Once again, I'm not trying to put nobody down. Just to help somebody. So I'm not having no sex at that time. And this young lady landed across my bed with curvaceous, this all in my face. She had clothes on though. And at that time, I didn't know what I know now. That was a pure test. But I didn't go over there and touch her or none of those things. Another young lady, not at the same time, who was across the other hallway. She was beautiful too. So I was sitting there one time with my door open, watching, I think I was watching movies or something on my break. Because they give you extended breaks at the camp setting. Then she happened to come to her room and left her door. And she was over there, I'm telling you the truth, doing motions with her body and like she, I showed like a massage. But I didn't go over there and massage. Why? Because at the time, I'm thinking about my situation at home when I'm living in my house with this woman no more than is my wife no longer. Who won't give me no sex. And once again, I'm not trying to put nobody down. I'm just giving the situation that might can help somebody. And at the time, yeah, I wanted some. I wanted some. Because I'm a man. I wasn't able to get it from home. But that border, because the conscience sake in my mind, even though I didn't know I was an Israelite, I didn't want to let the Most High down. That's the only thing that stopped me. Not that I was so good at nothing, but that conscience sake for thinking about the Most High, thinking on His name, thinking on Him. I said, no, I can't do nothing like that. I even told the one that came the first time, I said, and she ain't the only one, I said, I don't want nothing from you. That might have been offensive to them. I didn't mean like I don't want nothing from you. I mean, I can't do nothing with you. The situation I'm in ain't totally resolved yet. There's another young lady at another camp, another beautiful young lady. I told her the same thing. I don't want nothing from you. That's what I meant by it, though. But if it had been, I'm being honest with you, if it had been a situation where I didn't have a woman in my home that used to be my wife, man, I probably would have knocked some of that off. I'd probably knock some of that off. I'm just keeping it real. What stopped me? The integrity of my mind. I didn't say I was totally sinless or nothing like that, but the integrity of my mind, believing in the Most High, on the level I knew him at that time, I couldn't do it. Because I didn't want to have to face him afterwards. And if they were really sent as I now think they were, I believe they went all the way through with it. That's what they were sent there to do. That's what I think. So I passed those tests. Why? The Most High called me to pass it. He was in my mind. That's why I said those who think on him, he should give them a book of remembrance. That's why he know I think on him a lot. Even back then. Even I didn't say I never did nothing wrong, but I always think on him. And he proved it to me now. He said, I'm going to give him a book of remembrance. So he can get the rest. And for to make them young ladies feel better, if they hear these things, you know who you are. I still think you're beautiful. So don't look down on yourself. Don't get no false lack of self-esteem. It's just I wasn't called to do that. I'm called to do what I'm doing. And if there's a beautiful young lady, something like that, even at this time, as the Most High has restored me, and he give me a little bit of money, because I'm going to need that to have a woman, then I'll go ahead and we can go ahead and get together, and we ain't going to the courthouse. We'll get on this internet and we'll make it public here. And you're going to leave what you come with. They're going to be part of the agreement. Just in case you want to leave. That's to help somebody. All praise to the Most High. In case you get a change of heart. That's fair though. Because the Most High said we're supposed to stay together. So if you break that covenant of not standing together, then you need to leave with what you came with. After all, it is your choice. And I ain't going to stand you away from leaving. You're just going to leave with what you came with them. Nothing to mind. Just man walketh with it in his integrity. Proverbs 20:7. The just man walking in his integrity, his children are blessed after him. Be trusted because of the integrity of his heart. Doctrine and Covenants 124 and 20. And everything I told you is the truth. I didn't lie to you. Two more situations is the truth. That just came out of my heart. The Most I just tell him. Because you ain't did nothing wrong. I didn't lie. My ex-wife already divorced me. So as I was at the camp, the first young lady, she used to keep coming to my room. We didn't have no sex and nothing like that. So she came to my room on a break. I don't know if she was sent or not. maybe. And at that time, I was lonely. So she used to come to the room, and I was into watching movies. I'm not talking about no filthy movies or nothing either. Just movies. So she would come to the room, and we would watch movies together in my room. Wasn't nothing going on. Then one time she came in there and she said, "Hey, Poola, I didn't come here to do nothing." I said, in my mind, I said, I didn't think that. I thought we were just watching movies. And when she said that, it kind of offended me a little bit. Because I didn't call you here to do nothing. And I didn't call you anyway. You came. So then down the line, I should tell her I love you. But not a romantic love. Even on Facebook, even to these times when I contact them, I don't know more because they married now. Before they got married, I used to tell all the young ladies, I said, I love you. Out of a love, not a romantic love. But I wasn't married when I said those things. So then she called me one time and she said, Pooler, I want to see you. But what popped in my mind? Oh, I didn't come here to do nothing. That stayed in my mind. So I didn't go see you. One time I had this apartment over there by what OJ and them lived at that time. I wasn't married. And I knew she had been sent because another young lady, when I wasn't married as well, who came to visit me on 20th, what was it, 20th and La Brea when I lived over there. Like I said, I'm not married. And this was years ago. Some young lady, this is a different young lady, but this young lady that I'm talking about, the other one, that's the one whose son said, hey, Anthony, your grandma was here. But that's not the one that was at the camp. But this one was the one that was the camp came over to the place I had over there by where OJ lived at that time. And what was ironic, she used the same line as the young lady who came with the son who said your grandma was here. She came over there and said, and we gotta remember, I'm not married. I ain't in no relationships. And I didn't know what I know now. She came over there and said, hey, Anthony, my butt is getting big, huh? Same thing the other young lady said. It's quite ironic. They both said the same thing, but they don't know each other. Was that a script they was reading? She came over and she said, after you see that, let's go get something to eat. But guess what saved me that time? I didn't have no money. She came over the time I was broke. You know how men are, had a little pride. So I didn't want to tell her I was broke. And I don't want to tell her, no, you go pay for it, because I ain't that type of dude. Maybe I'm a sucker. But when I got it, I like to treat the woman. I don't be expecting the woman to treat me. But maybe, like I said, I'm a sucker. That's just who I am. So I walked her to her car. She looked all disappointed, like she might be getting ready to cry. I kissed her on her lips and sent her on her way. Quite ironic. That's the same woman during the time when I was at the camp that my wife had already divorced me. Because this was years later that she came. But at that time, well, not that many years later, maybe a year or something later. But I wasn't married. I was divorced. My wife divorced me. And the only reason this situation happened because my supervisor at the camp, I was in my room doing what I do, watch movies on my break. He called me and said, "Hey, Pooler, come here." So I walk up to the front to listen to my supervisor got to say. And he said, "Hey, carry this for her to the back, to her office." Why is that? Because they already know she always be coming in my room all the time. Maybe they just want to send her. I don't know. So I carried the things at that time to her office. And we're in there, she's looking at me, and then, I ain't got no wife, no woman. I ain't had sex in a long time. I got to have integrity, right? So I'm telling you the truth. She's a beautiful lady. I put this stuff down there. She's looking at me. I'm looking at her. And as I'm putting these things down, we close to each other. So I kissed her on the lips. And that's as far as it went. But I wasn't married. Only intimacy we ever had was watching movies together. And then I had another coworker, if he listened to this, he say, "That's your woman, you just don't know it." And you know me, I was kind of slow as far as putting two and two together. That's why maybe she said, "You stupid." Not her, but my former wife. Said, "You so stupid." And I was stupid about a lot of stuff. I already told you. And I was just thinking in my mind, what do you mean by that? That's my woman, I don't know. But guess what? I ain't never had sex with none of them women. I had another coworker who told me, "Man, you better than me." She had been pregnant by now. Because he knew my situation at home. It seemed like I missed out on a lot of things, a lot of opportunities, especially when it comes to relationship matters. Why? Because I always thought about God. That was the barrier that kept me from doing things. Because after all, I'm a man. And that's the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me all along. And I'm talking about beautiful women. James 1:8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Praise the Most High, I had a single mind. Now, if you, whatever your opinion is, that's your right to have that opinion. But I was still righteous in the Most High's eyes. Because by the world standard, I have every right to have slept with all them women. I wasn't married. Alma 24:19. Once again, this is not to accuse nobody or hurt nobody. It's to help somebody. Not to tell you what to do, but give you choices. So you ain't got to be stupid like I was. Alma 24:19. And thus we see that when these Lamanites, American Israelites, were brought to believe and to know the truth, they were firm and would suffer even unto the death rather than commit sin. And thus we see that they buried their weapons of peace, or they buried the weapons of war for peace. Everybody in my situations and my examples, they're different people today. They probably ain't the same. I'm telling you my testimony of them situations. The same situations many of you are in today, especially when you're younger than me. And some of you is my age, older than me. You still might be going through. And I'm giving you this with integrity, with a pure heart, that it can help somebody. I've been like that all my life. I never went to women. And that's not a boastful statement. They always came to me. Any woman that came into my life one way or another, they always came to me. Not that I'm so special and like this, just I didn't have confidence to talk to them. There's another young lady. She'll know who she is to hear this. I played for the football for the East Side, and she was a cheerleader for the West Side. I'll just put it like that. Me and her didn't really know each other than passing by. Only time we really saw each other was I ran track against a West Side school. And I saw she looked at me back then, and I looked at her, but that's as far as it went. And it wasn't really from my point of view. It wasn't no romantic feeling. I didn't know. I just said she's a pretty girl. And then when me and my buddies one time was up at a football game when we got a little older. I believe I don't know how old I was at that time. But I wasn't married. And he said, you gonna get with her? Why? Because she came up to me. She says, hi, Anthony, hi, Pooh, hi, Anthony. And for some reason, sometimes when I get around pretty girls, I freeze up. I wasn't being disrespectful. It was just I couldn't say nothing. She took it to mean maybe that I didn't like her, or maybe I was too good for her or something. And that wasn't nothing like that, but I just couldn't say nothing. I froze up. So I can see how that really looked from looking from the inside out, but I just couldn't say nothing. She said, hi, Anthony, hi. And I looked at her, and then no words come out of my mouth. Then she walked away. I can imagine she probably said, this dude think he stuck up or something. That happened to me like at least twice in my life. When the girl was like, hi, 2 or 3 times. And I just didn't say nothing. So they walked, and then one girl cussed me out this time behind it. So you got your who you think you are? You can't speak to somebody. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't say nothing. I just let it go. But she really knew the truth. She knew I wasn't disrespecting. I'm telling you the truth. Whether you like it or not, it's the truth. And I didn't commit no sins. Romans 7:3. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. Another statement that was made to me doing a attempt for reunification one time. At that time, my significant other said, there's a lot of temptation out there. Which I had no idea what that meant. But now I kind of got a sense of what she was telling me. I didn't know women get tempted like that. Once again, not to hurt nobody, but to help somebody. Because some of you have heard them same statements. Because after all, that's past tense of our lives. Those are past tense testimonies, maybe for somebody's current testimony. That maybe you can be helped from me sharing these things with you. 20:7. The just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. This is also a testimony that can help your children. So maybe they don't have to go through down the same path. I ain't crying or nothing like that. My eye just was burning on the side. Might be this little portable air blower blowing air in my eye. John 5:6-7. When Yahweh saw him lie and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he says to him, "Would you be made whole?" The impotent man answered him, "Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. But while I'm coming, another steppeth down before me." So you'll overcome by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of your testimony. And the testimony I'm giving to you, I'm not lying to you. You know, when you go through those carnal thoughts and you think about how wrong you feel you've been done, once again, I'm not accusing nobody. I'm just saying real thoughts. Sometimes I kicked myself and I said, man, I should have did it. But then when I get the righteous thoughts, I say, praise God, I did. I'm just being honest. You know, when you struggle in your mind, you say, I'm trying to walk by the integrity of my heart, not even knowing about the word integrity meant. And yet, I still ended up on the bottom. So when them thoughts used to hunt me, I say, man, I wish I should have done it. But now I think about it and I say, I'm glad I did. Praise God. Not only for my sake, for their sake. Because now they have, I'm going to put it this way, I don't know their husbands. But now they have wonderful husbands. What if I did that and messed up their opportunity to get a husband? I'm glad I didn't do it. I'm glad they have happy lives. Because I love them. Like I said, not a romantic love, because I ain't never been romantic with them. But out of sisterhood, I'm happy they happy. They say my ex-wife is happy. I'm happy she's happy. I am happy she's happy. I don't want nobody. I don't wish no bad evil on nobody. Only reason I'm telling you about this today is because that's my testimony. I can't talk about somebody else's life. And I got to tell you what happened in order not to be lying to you. Like I said, I don't know what's really in somebody's heart and mind. I just don't know about what its appearance to be. So it appears they happy. I'm happy. Now, if I had what is mine by right in order to be able to drive my truck and all this, I'd be more comfortable. But that's not gonna make me more happy. Happy means blessed. And I can't get no more blessed than doing the work of the Most High in the vineyard. I'm happy. I'm blessed to do genealogy and temple work in Yahweh's vineyard. That's real love. And that's what I meant by I love them. Why? Because I ain't never had no intimate relationship with them to know how that feels. That's why I say I love them. I still love my ex-wife. Not from a intimate relationship, because I don't remember how that feels. But through genealogy and temple work, I love her. I don't wish no harm on nobody. Even Esau, I don't wish no harm on Esau, although he's wicked. I just tell you what the Most High say he's gonna do to him. And they gotta accept that because the Most High said it. Doctrine and Covenants 124. Six to 1 to 20. For behold, I'm about to call upon them to give heed to the light and the glory of Zion. For the set time has come to favor her. Behold, I'm about to call upon them to give heed to the light and glory of Zion, for the set time has come to favor her. Call you therefore upon them with loud proclamation, and with your testimony fearing them not. For they are as grass, and all their glory as the flower whereof which soon felleth, that they may be left also without excuse. And that I may visit them in the day of visitation, when I shall unveil the face of my covering, to appoint the portion of the oppressor among the hypocrites, where there is gnashing of teeth, if they reject my servants and my testimony, which I have revealed unto them. And again I visit and soften their hearts, meaning them for your good, that you may find grace in their eyes, that they may come to the light of truth, and the Gentiles to the exaltation or lifting up of Zion. For the day of my visitation comes speedily, in an hour when you think not of, where shall be the safety of my people and refuge for those who shall be left of them. Awake, O kings of the earth, come you, come you. Come ye all. Awake, O kings of the earth, come ye, with your gold and your silver to help my people to the house of the daughter of Zion, the daughter of Zion. And again, verily I say unto you, let my servant help you to write this proclamation. See, that's why they listening. They already got the treasury and everything already said. But this truth is helping them to write the proclamation of how to do it. And again, verily I say unto you, let my servant help you to write this proclamation, for I am well pleased with him, and he should be with you. Let him therefore take to your counsel, and I will bless him with a multiplicity of blessings. Let him be faithful and true in all things from henceforth, integrity. From henceforth. Not from the past, but from henceforth. And he should be great in my eyes. But let him remember that his stewardship will I require at his hands. And again, verily I say unto you, blessed is my servant. For I, Yahweh, love him because of the integrity of his heart. Because the love that which is right before me, says Yahweh. He loves him because of the integrity of his heart. Integrity, sincerity. I will tell you, I'm sincere. And again, let my servant help you in your labor in sending my word to the kings and the people of the earth. And stand by you, even you, my servant Joseph, in the hour of affliction, and reward shall not fail if he receive counsel. And for his love he shall be great. For he shall be mine if he do this, says Yahweh. I've seen the work which he has done, which I accept if he continue, and will crown him with blessings and great glory. And again, I say unto you that it is my will that my servant should continue in preaching for Zion in the spirit of meekness, confessing me before the world. And I will bear him up on the eagle's wings. And he should beget glory and honor to himself and unto my name. That when he shall finish his work, I may receive him unto myself, even as I did my servant, who is with me at this time. And also my servant, and also my aged servant Joseph, who sitteth with Abraham at his right hand. And blessed and holy is he, for he is mine. Isaiah 43, 1-7. But now thus says Allah that created you, O Jacob. He that formed you, O Israel, fear not. For I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name, you are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. When you're walking through the fire, you shall not be burned. Neither shall the flame kindle upon you. For I am Allah, Yahweh, your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. I gave Egypt for your ransom, Ethiopia and Seba for you. And since you was precious in my sight, you have been honorable. And I have loved you, therefore I will give you men for you. I will give men for you, and people for your life. Fear not, for I am with you. And I will bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth, even every one that is called by my name. For I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yet I have made him. Malachi 3, 6 through 10. For I am Allah, I change not. Therefore you sons of Jacob are not consumed. Even from the days of your fathers you have gone away from my ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, says Allah of hosts. I love them that love me. Proverbs 8, 17 to 21. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches in righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yet than fine gold, my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit the substance, and I will fill their treasures. With what? Substance. And again, verily I say, this is Dr. Cummins, 124 and 15. And again, verily I say unto you, blessed are my servant. Blessed is my servant. That's why he had me to read Jacob. The children of Israel, the ones that choose to be a servant. That he called and you answered. That includes me. From the house of Joseph, from the tribe of Ephraim, an American, Israelite. Ephraim is my firstborn. For I, Yahweh, love him because of the integrity of his heart. And because he loves that which is right before me, says Yahweh. Sincere and sincerity of integrity. And again, let my servant help you in your labor in sending my word to the kings and the people of the earth, and stand by you, even my servant Joseph, in the hour of affliction and his reward shall not fail if he continue or receive counsel. That's why I always go back to his word to receive counsel. And for his love he shall be great. For he shall be mine if he do this, says Yahweh. I have seen the work which he has done, which I accept if he continue, and will crown him with blessings and great glory. And again I say unto you that it is my will that my servant should continue in preaching for Zion. Preaching, teaching, same thing. In the spirit of meekness, confessing me before the world. And I will bear him up as on the eagle's wings. And he shall beget glory and honor to himself and unto my name. That when he shall finish his work, I may receive him unto myself, even as I did my servant who is with me at this time. And also my servant, and also my aged servant Joseph Smith, who sitteth with Abraham at his right hand. And blessed and holy is he, for he is mine. And again, verily I say unto you, my servant is without God. Just like Nathaniel, an Israelite without God. John 1:47. Yahweh saw Nathanael coming to him and said to him of him, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. He may be trusted because of the integrity of his heart. And for the love which he has to my testimony, I, Yahweh, love him. Because of the integrity of his heart, he can be trusted. Proverbs 19:1, better is the poor that walketh in his integrity, than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Integrity. Because a fool said there's no God. I therefore say unto you, I seal upon his head the office of a bishopric, that he may receive the consecrations of my house, that he may administer blessings upon the heads of the poor of my people, says Yahweh. Let no man despise my servant, for he shall honor me. Let my servant and my servants and all my servants and others build a house unto my name, such as my servant Joseph shall show unto them. Upon the place which he shall show unto them also, build a house. Doctrine and Covenants 124, 56 through 82, and 111 through 122. And now I say unto you, as pertaining to my boarding house, which I have commanded you to build for the boarding of strangers, let it be built unto my name, and let my name be named upon it, and my servant Joseph and his house have place therein, from generation to generation. For this anointing have I put upon his head, that his blessing shall also be put upon the head of his posterity after him. And as I said unto Abraham concerning the kindreds of the earth, even so I say unto my servant Joseph, in you and in your seed shall the kindreds of the earth be blessed. Therefore let my servant Joseph and his seed after him have place in that house, from generation to generation, forever and ever, says Yahweh. And let the name of that house be called, I'm going to read what it says, but the book of remembrance of Mormon says, the house of Joseph. Which all tribes are going to come under the house of Joseph's leadership under the tribe of Ephraim. But it says here, let the name of that house be called Navajo house. And let it be a delightful habitation for man, and a resting place for the weary traveler, that he may contemplate the glory of Zion, and the glory of this, the cornerstone thereof, Yahweh the Messiah being the chief cornerstone. That he may receive also the counsel from those whom I have set to be as plants of renown, and as watchmen upon her walls. Behold, verily I say unto you, let my servants organize themselves, and appoint one of them to be a president over their quorum for the purpose of building that house. He tells you in the book of Moses, Mormon, chapter 3, verse 82, or chapter 4, verse 82 is one of those chapters. I got to go look it up for sure. That the rightful president of the Melchizedek priesthood are the literal descendants of Jacob. The Melchizedek priesthood. I being one of them. Why? His word proves it. And I'm his word. And I'm from the house of Joseph and the tribe of Ephraim, the elect. And they shall form a constitution whereby they may receive stock for the building of that house. And they shall not receive less than $50 for a share of stock in that house. That was back then. This Joseph is to continue the work, to finish it. Because it's finished. And they should be permitted to receive $15,000 from anyone or any man for stock in that house. That was back then. But they shall not be permitted to receive over $15,000 for stock from any one man. That was back then. And they shall not be permitted to receive under $50 for a share of stock from one man in that house back then. And they shall not be permitted to receive any man as a stockholder in this house, except the same shall pay his stock into the hands at that time he received stock. That's back then. Why now? Because all the nations is bringing in their wealth. They already got trillions of dollars in the treasury. That's what the Most High said. They got to pay like 4 times what they take. And then according to them numbers. Why? Because they stole all the gold and the silver and everything. And every precious thing. They stole it all. But that was just the foundation of how it was supposed to go down. And in preparation to the amount of stock he pays into their hands, he's received stock in that house. But if he pays nothing into their hands, he shall not receive any stock in that house. And if any pay stock into their hands, it shall be for stock in that house, for himself, and for his generation after him, from generation to generation. So long as he and his heirs shall hold that stock, and do not sell or convey the stock away of their hands by their own free will and act. That's why they said by necessity and through probate, all things been returned back. He already told you that Joseph has the authority over the house. The modern day Joseph. The Melchizedek priesthood. The one speaking. The Most High's word. If you will do my will, says Yahweh Allah, your God. And again, verily I say unto you, if my servants receive any stock into their hands in monies or in properties therein, they receive the real value of monies. See, that's why I told you. Even though if I use their whatever form of money they got, but modern day Jewish script, as they say, it got to be. They had to convert it to real value money, and they already did that for me. Why? Because I already gave notice and instruction, because I already told them who I am, and they know who I am. Who else has told them these things? Nobody but me. As far as I know anyway, but I ain't never heard nobody say they did. I know I told them, and they know I told them. That's what I mean by I'm his work, and his work proves who I am. They should not appropriate any portion of that stock to any other purpose, only in that house. Stop me if I'm lying. And if they do appropriate any portion of that stock anywhere else, only in that house, without the consent of the stockholder, and do not repay fourfold for the stock which they appropriate anywhere else. Now you see why I'm saying they got to pay back 4 times what they take. Only in that house they should be accursed. They should be accursed. And she moved out of their place. Says Yahweh Allah, for I, Yahweh, am God. Allah. And cannot be mocked in any of these things. That's why I already tell you, I'm not boasting or bragging. I'm just telling you can't cheat me. Verily I say unto you, let my servant Joseph pay stock into their hands for the building of that house as seemeth him good. But my servant Joseph cannot pay over $15,000 in that stock house, nor under $50 can any other man, says Yahweh. But guess what now, though? Joseph ain't got to pay nothing because they stole it. They got to get back 4 times what they take. And give it back to Joseph. And there are others also who wish to know my will concerning it. For they have asked it at my hands. That's when we go back to the sealed portion, chapter 79. He said, don't forgive them unless they give back 4 times what they take. Therefore I said to you concerning my servant, if he will do my will, let him put stock into that house for himself and for his generation after him, from generation to generation. So I was telling you before, especially all the houses that I done bought, you know, when they talking about foreclosed, they already admitted that's a crime. That's my property. All the property with my name on in the land. He said all of America, I read that before too, is my residence. That's why even at this current place where I dwell, I got the right to receive mail here and not be subjugated by it. They already admitted that. Wherever I choose to dwell and I choose to receive mail there or whatever, they can't subjugate me. Nor you, if you call, you know who you are, and let them know who you are. But I know I have already, and they know I have. And let him lift up his voice so I can speak for my house too. He told me to look out for my house. And then once again, looking out for my house, you got to qualify by honoring your father. He does say your mother too, but right now he's talking about his father. Honor your father, for this is the first commandment with promise. We're talking about Joseph. And let him live. See, somehow I end up coming back here all the time. It ain't somehow, though. And let him lift up his voice long and loud in the midst of the people, and plead the cause of the poor and the needy, Geniaz and Tibor. And let him not fall, let him not fail, neither let his heart faint. And I will accept his offerings, for they shall not be unto me as offerings of Cain. For he shall be mine, says Yahweh. Let his family rejoice and turn away their hearts from affliction. Let his family rejoice and turn away their hearts from affliction. For I've chosen him and anointed him. And he should be honored in the midst of his house. Honor your father, for this is the first commandment we promise. For I will forgive all his sins, says Yahweh. Amen. Verily I say unto you, let my servant put stock into that house as seemeth him good, for himself and his generation after him. What stock I'm putting into this? Genealogy and Tibor. From generation to generation. Let my servant put stock into that house. I, Yahweh, love him for the work he has done, and will forgive him all his sins. Therefore let him be remembered for an interest in that house from generation to generation. Let my servant be appointed among you, and be ordained by my servant, and be blessed of him, to go with my servant to accomplish the work of my servant Joseph. Shall point out to them, and they shall be greatly blessed. I already told you my will concerning those things. Let my servant pay stock into that house, as seeming him good, for himself and his generation from generation to generation. Let my servant pay stock into the house as seeming him good, for himself and the seed of his seed after him, from generation to generation. See, Most High already done proved me. Why? Because I'm his word. And I already done said the things that he said that was going to happen. And I already gave those powers this information about who I am. And they already know who I am. And he's already converted all money to me that's what they call the jour money. The Most High's money. Even if I use their Jewish script. And the fact that I didn't know none about none of these things while I was doing it is proof the Most High was doing it through me. I'm his word. And I don't know nobody else has been doing that. Do you? Why? Because I listen to a lot of people preach and teach. And I ain't never heard none of them say the things the Most High helped me to say. Have you? I'm going to give him the credit. But I'm going to ask you the question. Have you heard it? Or have you seen it? That's why I appointed my sons over my house with me. But the stipulation is they got to be righteous. And I know them to be righteous. Especially if they'll have nobody that's interfering with them and trying to make them be wicked. but I cover them and I tell them through instruction, do honorable things, do good faith work. And honor me according to his word, who says that's the first commandment with promise, that you can receive the promises. And the reason I'm not giving any other names here is because the Most High know who you are, and you got to know who you are. And your work is going to prove whether you are worthy of this calling as well, of these other servants. He going to put you in the slots. That's why I ain't calling no names when he's naming all these other servants. And they're going to know who you are because you're going to perform these works. I already got a slot. I'm Joseph. And I didn't say that came out of my mouth because the Spirit led me there. Why? Because I ain't hearing nobody else saying these things that he's saying. And he's showing it that I've done the work because I'm his work. I'm only boasting in him and his word. Let my servant pay stock into that house. How? Genealogy and temple work. For himself and his seed after him. From generation to generation. And again, verily I say unto you, let my servant pay stock into the hands of those whom I have appointed to build a house for boarding. Like in the book of Nehemiah, they was building a house. Even the Navajo house. That's what they said. This let him do it if he will have an interest. So if you ain't doing no genealogy and temple work, you don't have no interest in the house. Not the complete work. Not Zion. And let him hearken unto the counsel of my servant Joseph, and labor with his own hands that he may obtain the confidence of men. And when he shall prove himself faithful in all things that should be entrusted unto his care, even a few things he shall be made ruler over many. Let him therefore abase himself that he may be exalted. Even so, amen. That's what I'm trying to tell you. My exaltation came from the Father. After all, I'm still riding a bike. I got the audacity to be talking about abase myself, or to exalt myself. But yet he exalted me even in my abasement. I'm a king riding a bike. You can't get no more humble than that. I know y'all be talking about him. Look at that nigga riding that bike. Correction. Look at that niggas riding that bike. And again, verily I say unto you, if my servant foster, if my servant will obey my voice, let him build a house for my servant Joseph, according to the contract which he has made with him. That's why they told you all these things are free for me. Through probate, everything been given back to him, including my uncle's estates. They're all mine. So I shouldn't have to keep on asking people to give me my truck or take me to the market and let me go buy food with his. You already told you it's mine anyway. He told you yesterday you can't be cheating me. And he said you can't be trying to use deception to try to take stuff from me. Somehow he keep on coming back and telling you this thing over and over again. And because he made me humble, I'm not asking for much at this time. Although all things are mine. I just said for right now, just give me my truck. Allow me to go get as much money as I want at times I want to go get it when I want to go out and do what I want to do. And that's not asking much to go to the market. And have me a scooter to drive around and have fun on. That's not adding for much at all. That's bare minimum. And you don't want me to have that. At least have enough where I can, if I did find a wife, I can at least take care of. But you don't want me to have that. Even against he said all things are mine. And you already admitted to it. I don't see a problem. I don't see the problem that y'all people have with when he already told you to do it. And I ain't been arrogant or boastful or nothing. I ain't complaining. I go get on my bike and ride it. And I still do work in the vineyard with my best ability that he gave me. And I ain't complained one time. And again, verily I say unto you, if my servant will obey my voice, let him build a house for my servant Joseph, according to the contract which he has made with him, as the door should be opened to him from time to time, from the other servants. And let him repent of all his folly and clothe himself with charity and cease to do evil and lay aside all his hard speeches. And pay stock also into the hands of quorum of the, as they say, the Navu house, for himself and for his generation after him, from generation to generation. And listen unto the counsel of my servant Joseph and my other servants, teaching the genealogy and 10th board. And to the authorities which I have called to lay the foundation of Zion. And it should be well with him forever and ever, even so, amen. I'm doing what the Most High told me to do, and you're a witness. Why are you not doing your part? Why are you trying to keep back from me what he said is mine? You already admitted it's mine. By necessity. And again, verily I say unto you, let no man pay stock into quorum of the house, Nova house, as they said, unless he shall be a believer in the Book of Mormon. And the revelation I have given unto you, says Yahweh of Allah, your God. Why? The Book of Mormon is the Northern Kingdom's information. The fullness of the gospel that completes the first step through the seal portions. That's why I said those who fear him, he gave us a book of remembrance so we can get the rest. And again, verily I say unto you, let no man pay stock to the quorum of Navu house unless he shall be a believer in the Book of Mormon. Why? Because the Book of Mormon or the sealed books is going to tell you that the Father's kingdom is only for genealogy and temple work. If you don't have this information, you're not part of the house. You teaching a false doctrine only of the Bible that most precious things have been taken out of. You preaching everybody can get saved. That's not the Most High's house. That's why they have in the Library of Congress this information. They know I'm telling the truth. And they know you a liar. That's why they have an article of faith. 1 section 10. They know exactly I'm telling the truth. And again, verily I say unto you, let no man pay stock to the quorum of the Navajo house unless he shall be a believer in the Book of Mormon, the Northern Kingdom's history. And the revelation I have given unto you, says Yahweh Allah, your God. For that which is more or less than this cometh of evil, and should be attended with cursings and not blessings, says Yahweh Allah, your God. Even so, amen. And again, verily I say unto you, let the quorum of the Navajo house, as they have recorded, have a just recompense of wages for all their laborers, which they do in the building of Navajo house. What's it called? Genealogy and temple work in Zion. So you ain't got to pay into nothing. We doing the work. The Most High is going to pay us. That's why I say all things are there. All things are mine. And he mentioned Joseph, the head. And I got to sit around and beg for you to give me a truck and a scooter and to go to the market and get food. And a house. He already told you to build for him. And land. He got to keep telling you things because that's his word. Keep telling you that. And you don't want to do it. Why? Because you don't like me. Well, I'm gonna keep riding my bike, keep on doing what I'm supposed to do. He gonna deal with you. And I ain't gonna complain. And let every man who pays stock bear his portion or his proportion of their wages, if it must needs be, for their support, says Yahweh. Otherwise, their labor shall be accounted unto them for stock in that house. Even so, amen. Genealogy and temple work. My stock in Zion. And it shall be for a house for boarding, a house that strangers may come from afar to lodge there. He told you those were. All our brothers and sisters is coming from Africa in the place, who are Israelites. They strangers to this land. Therefore, let it be a good house, worthy of all exception, that the weary traveler may find health and safety while he shall contemplate the word of Yahweh. Leviticus 25:35-38. If your brother be waxing poor and fallen into decay with you, then you shall relieve him. Yeah, though he be a stranger or sojourner, he may live with you. Take you no usury of him, or increase, but fear Allah, your God, that your brother may live with you. You should not give him your money upon usury, nor lend him victuals for increase. I am Yahweh, your God, Allah, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan, and to be your God, Allah. Deuteronomy 31:12-13. Gather the people together, men, women, and children, and your strangers that are within your gates, that they may hear, that they may learn, and fear Yahweh, your God. That's why they need books of remembrance. And observe to do all the words of this law, and that their children, which have not known anything, may hear, and learn to fear Allah, your God, Yahweh, as long as you live in the land whither you go over Jordan to possess it. Matthew 25:35, 38, 43-44. For I was hungered, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Words of wisdom. Make sure you know that they're righteous and they're Christ you invite in. Just don't take in a stranger. I was a stranger, and you took me in. They got to be Christ you taking in. They got to be righteous. Good faith workers. When saw ye a stranger and took you in, or naked and clothed you? I was a stranger, and you took me not in, naked, and you clothed me not. Sick and in prison, you visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Yahweh, when saw ye hungered and athirst, or in stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, or did not minister unto you? It's called genealogy and temple work. That the weary traveler may find health and safety while he shall contemplate the word of Yahweh, and the cornerstone I have appointed for Zion. Doctrine and Covenants 124-2. Your prayers are acceptable for me. And in answer to them I say unto you, that you're now called immediately to make a solemn proclamation of my gospel, and of this stake which I planted to be a cornerstone of Zion, which should be polished with the refinement which is after the similitude of a palace. Which shall be polished with the refinement which is after the similitude of a palace. Let's look at the term palace. He just told you what it's supposed to be like. Let's look at the term first, similitude. Similitude is a noun, late 14th century, appearance, guise, quality, or state of being similar. A comparison, person or thing that resembles another. Similitude, similarity, relationship, comparison. Likeness, resemblance, like, resembling of same kind, similar. So it's similar or exactly like a palace. A palace is a noun. Early 13th century, palace, official, emperor, king, queen, archbishop, etc. Palace, court, a palace. Then it goes into other things. It said the Palestine Hill, in plural, a palace. The Palestine Hill, one of the 7 hills of ancient Rome, where Augustus Caesar house stood. The original palace, later the site of the splendid residence built by Nero. In English, the general sense of magnificent, stately, or splendid dwellings place is by century 1300. He said it's supposed to be on those levels. Why? After all, he said, I made you kings and priests. He said, that's what it's supposed to look like in Zion. He said, that's what my house is supposed to look like. Doctrine and Covenants 124 and 2. Your prayers are acceptable before me. In answer to them, I say unto you, that you are called immediately to make a solemn proclamation of my gospel, and of the stake which I have planted to be a cornerstone of Zion, which should be polished with the refinement which is after the similitude of a palace. And the cornerstone I have appointed for Zion. This house shall be a helpful habitation if it be built unto my name. If the governor which shall be appointed unto it shall not suffer any pollution to come upon it. That's why I'm trying to tell you I'm allowing genealogy and temple work. The children of Israel who are righteous. And you think I'm being mean. And I'm only doing what he told me to do. I'm his word. It shall be holy, and or Yahweh, your God, will not dwell therein. Go back to the sealed portion. Chapter 32, he said, in these houses, not built with hands, they're going to live in those houses built at the palaces. There will be no more curse. There is no more curse. For Yahweh and the Father shall dwell therein. It should be holy, or Yahweh, your God, or Allah will not dwell therein. Amos 7:20-21. I perceive that it has been made known unto you by the testimony of his word that he cannot walk in crooked paths. Neither does he vary from that which he has said. He don't change his word. If he said it, he gonna do it. Matter of fact, he already said it, and it already was. As soon as he said it, it was. It is. In the temporal world, sometimes it's progressive, though. But in his world, it is right when he said it. That's why he already knows it's gonna happen. Neither has he a shadow of turning from the right to the left, or from which is right to that which is wrong. Therefore, his course is one eternal round. And he do it not dwell in unholy temples, meaning your body or a temple you build. Because he only gonna be in the place you build if your temple is holy. And he does not dwell in unholy temples. That's why I say he don't dwell in none of your churches that's created by man. Your doctrines are doctrines of man. His church is not made with hands. He does not dwell in unholy temples. Neither can filthiness or anything which is unclean be received into the kingdom of Allah. Therefore I say unto you, the time shall come, and shall be at the last day, that he who is filthy shall remain in his filthiness. That's right now. This is the last day. Last days. That's why a lot of you can't repent. Some of you have been sealed to salvation already, and some of you have been sealed to filthiness already, or condemnation. This house shall be a helpful habitation if it be built unto my name. And if the governor which shall be appointed unto it shall not suffer any pollution to come upon it. Unto us a child is born, to us a son is given, and upon this, and the government shall be on his shoulder. And again, verily I say unto you, let all my saints come from afar. Doctrine and Covenants 10:65. For behold, I will gather them as hens gather her chickens under her wings, if they will not harden their hearts. Let all my saints come from afar. Psalms 148:14. He also exalted the horns of his people, and the praise of all his saints. Even the children of Israel, a people near unto him, praise ye Allah. Psalm 55 through 7. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. If you suffer me, you'll reign with me. That's why you've been suffering. And Zion is not going back into captivity. And the heavens shall declare his righteousness, for all laws judge him. Selah. Hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Israel, and I will testify against you. I am Allah, even your God. And send you swift messengers. Isaiah 18, 1 through 7. Destruction to the land shadowing with wings, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. They send ambassadors by the sea, even in vessels of bulrushes upon the waters, saying, Go, you swift messengers, to a nation scattered and peeled, to a people terrible from their beginning hereto, a nation meted out and trodden down, whose land the rivers have spoiled. All you inhabitants of the world and dwellers on the earth, see ye when you lifted up an ensign on the mountains, and when he blowed a trumpet, hear you. For so Yahweh Allah has said unto me, I will take my rest, and I will consider my dwelling place like a clear heat upon herbs, and like a cloud of dew in the heat of harvest. For fall the harvest, when the bud is perfect, and the sour grape is ripening in the flower, he shall both cut off the sprigs, and with pruning hooks, and take away and cut down the branches. They shall be left together on the fowls of the mountains, and to the beasts of the earth, and the fowls shall summer upon them, and all the beasts of the earth shall winter upon them. And at times shall the present be brought unto all law of hosts, of a people scattered and peeled, and from a people terrible from the beginning hitherto, a nation meted out and trodden underfoot, whose land the rivers are spoiled, to place the name of Yahweh of hosts, the Mount of Zion. Chosen messengers. And I said to them, Come you with all your gold, and your silver, and your precious stones, with all your antiquities. First Kings 6:21 through 22. So Solomon overlaid the house with pure gold. And he made a portion by the chain of gold before the ark. And he overlaid it with gold. And the whole house he overlaid with gold until he had finished all the house. Also the whole altar that was by the oracle he overlaid with gold. Second Nephi 5:15. And I did teach my people to build buildings, and to work in all manner of wood, and of iron, and of copper, and of brass, and of steel, and of gold, and of silver, and of precious ores, which were in great abundance. That's why I told you chapter 79, they came and stole everything. Start killing people to try to take it. So the Most High said they got to get back 4 times what they take. And they're going to build the house. Not the spiritual house, but the physical house. And your silver and your precious stones, with all your antiquities and with all who have knowledge of antiquities, Doctrine and Covenants 93 and 53. And verily I say unto you, that it is my will that you should hasten to translate my scriptures, and to obtain a knowledge of history, and of countries, and of kingdoms, and of laws of God and man. Of laws of God and man. And all this for the salvation of Zion. That's another proclamation through precept that says that Roman Catholic Pope really said those things by necessity. And the same Doctrine and Covenants let you know if you're doing the Most High's will by keeping his law, which is the law of the land, then the law of man should not bother you, while his laws supersede their law. Because their law is color of law. That will come, may come, and bring the box tree and the fir tree and the pine tree together with all precious trees of the earth. Exodus 26:15, and you shall make boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood, standing up. Isaiah 41:19. And I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shittim tree, and the myrtle and the oil tree. And I will set in the desert the fir tree and the pine and the box tree together. Isaiah 60:13. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto you. The fir tree, the pine tree, the box together to beautify the palace of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. Isaiah 66:1. Thus says Allah, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that you build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? He already told you. And he told you what it's supposed to look like. Why he's the King of kings. And the kings are his children, his sons. Even now are we the sons of God. Although I'm riding a bike. And they keep telling you to bless me, that you can be blessed. Acts 7:49. Heaven is my throne, earth is my footstool. What house will you build me? Says Yahweh. Or what is the place of my rest? Isaiah 60:13. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto you, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and will make the place of my feet glorious. And with iron, with copper, with brass, with zinc, with all your precious things of the earth, and build a house to my name. Doctrine and Covenants 109 and 5. For you know it, that we have done this work through great tribulation. And out of our poverty, we have given our substance to build a house to your name. That the Son of Man might have a place to manifest himself to his people. Who is the Son of Man? First of all, there's the Messiah himself. And who is the Messiah himself? Many men. Zion. And I saw a lamb standing with 144,000 high priests. Obadiah 1 and 21. And saviors and sons of man shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the house of Esau. And one interpretation said the governing, called the temple. And there I told you in this house is Joseph, America. That's why I don't boast on anybody. I just tell you, examine his work. He said, you believe not in me? Let him tell you yourself. John 14:11. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. Told you I'm his work. John 10:37. If I do not the works of my Father, believe me not. John 10:38. But if I do, though you believe me not, believe the works, that you may know and believe that the Father is in me and I am in him. John 14:11-20. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. Verily, verily, I say unto you, and believe it on me, the works that I shall do, he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, and through the fullness of the gospel that is good, that will I do. That the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask anything in my name that is good, I will do it. If you love me, keep my commandments. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comfort, that he may abide with you forever. Even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but you know him, for he dwelleth with you and shall be in you. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world seeth me no more. But you see me, because I live. You shall live also. Like he told his mother Mary when he appeared to her after his resurrection. She said, son, you live. Therefore we all shall live. And at that day, shall you know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. And with iron, and with copper, and with brass, and with zinc, with all your precious things there, and build a house to my name, for the Most High to dwell therein. He's talking about you. But in the temporal world, they're going to build these temporal houses for us, these palaces. And he said that they're going to put it in our individual name. He said only in this we're going to be individuals. The things that are personally ours. But as a collective, we're going to be called Zion. Exodus 25:8. And let them make a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. See, they can't build the spiritual house. That's our job. But he's going to let them live. They can build the temporal things. 1 Kings 6:13. And I will dwell among the children of Israel, and I will not forsake my people Israel. Doctrine and Covenants 97, 15 through 17. And as much as my people build a house unto me in the name of Yahweh, and do not suffer any unclean thing to come into it, that it be not defiled, my glory shall rest upon it. Yeah, and my presence shall be there, for I will come into it. And all the pure in heart that shall come into it shall see all law. And you can't see all law without the Melchizedek priesthood. He already told you that in the sealed book of Moses. I'm on. And no man can be saved without the Melchizedek priesthood, his sons. The seed of Jacob. But if it be defiled, I will not come into it, and my glory shall not be there. For I will not come into unholy temples. He's talking about bodies and physical buildings. He only come into bodies, but if the bodies that he's in enter into unholy buildings for worship, he ain't gonna be there either. And he already told you who that's for. His people Israel. So if you're trying to bring other nations into it, he ain't gonna be there. You defiled it. Doctrine and Covenants 104 and 59. And guess what else you doing? You forfeiting yourself from having a stake in the building, in the house. I just read it to you. Doctrine and Covenants 104 and 59, for the purpose of building up my church and kingdom on the earth, and to prepare my people for the time when I shall dwell with them, which is nigh at hand. For there is not a place found on the earth that he may come to and restore again that which was lost unto you, or which he has taken away, even the fullness of the priesthood. The Melchizedek priesthood. Why that? For the restoration of the gospel. For what? Genealogy and temple work. For a baptismal font there is not upon the earth, that they Doctrine and Covenants 76:51, that they are they who receive the testimony of Yahweh and believe on his name, and were baptized after the manner of his burial, being buried in the water in his name, and this according to the commandment which he has given. See, baptism is a commandment through obedience. It's a baptism to be obedient. I recall obedience more than sacrifice. Doctrine and Covenants 128:13. Consequently, the baptismal font was instituted as a similitude of the grave, and was commanded to be in a place. So let me tell you this. Let me ask you this. Would you rather have a similitude of dying, or do you just want to actually die? He said, if you do this through obedience, this is the only thing you got to do is go to the similitude of dying. But if you don't do it, you're going to actually die. Which one are you ready to choose? Doctrine and Covenants 128:13. Consequently, the baptismal font was instituted as a similitude of the grave, and was commanded to be in a place underneath where the living are wont to assemble, to show forth the living and the dead, that all things may have their likeness, that they may accord one with another, that which is earthly conforming to that which is heavenly, as Paul has declared. 1 Corinthians 15:46, 47, and 48. That they, my saints, may be baptized for those who are dead. First Corinthians 15:29. Else, what shall they do which are baptized for the dead? If the dead rise not at all, why are they then baptized for the dead? It's a similitude. So when you're obedience, you're replacing death without having to experience it. And you're doing it, he allows you to do it through similitude. And that's why he said be obedient. And when you tell people don't do it, you want them to actually die. including yourself. That's why I say all you gotta do is be obedient. I know the way that you don't know. And I'm telling the truth that not only should you have life, you have it more abundantly. But you ain't gonna listen. Doctrine and Covenants 127 and 6. Verily, thus says Yahweh unto you concerning your dead. When any of you are baptized for your dead, let there be a recorder, and let him be eyewitness of your baptisms. Let him hear with his ears, that he may testify of a truth, says Yahweh. Doctrine and Covenants 138 and 33. These were taught faith in God, repentance from sin, various baptism for the remission of sins, the gift of the Holy Ghost by the laying on of hands, baptism for the dead, salvation for the dead. And that dead was you. Romans chapter 12, verse 1 through 2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Allah, that you present your bodies sanctity of body, living sacrifice, a living sacrifice. Mosiah 2:34. I say unto you that there are not any among you except it be your little children that have not been taught concerning these things. But what knoweth that you are eternally indebted to your heavenly Father, to render to him that all that you have and are, and also have been taught concerning the records which contain the prophecies which have been spoken by the holy prophets, even down to the time of our father Lehi left Jerusalem about 600 BC and came back to America. Why did I say come back? Because our original father, Adam, was created here. The sealed portion told me that his offspring left America and went to Africa. Or what they call Jerusalem. And 600 BC, Lehi, by the Holy Spirit, left Jerusalem and came back to America. Moroni 10:30-33. And again, I would extort you that you would come unto the Messiah and let hold upon every good gift and touch not the evil gift, nor the unclean thing. What's the evil gift? Anything that comes through idolatry, witchcraft, sorcery, they come from Satan through covenant with him. Most High said, when he make you rich, he has no sorrow to it. He has no Satan to it. Therefore, all the gifts he give you are good. And you gotta look over your shoulder once you get it. And touch not the evil gift, nor the unclean thing. And awake and arise from the dust, O Jerusalem. Yeah, and put on your beautiful garments, O daughters of Zion. And strengthen your stakes and enlarge your borders forever, that you may no more be confounded. How is that? Because now you got a bunch of confessions, everything been given back, and their wrongdoings and their acknowledgments and their acceptance of their faults. They're liable by their own confessions and notes, and that's why I said, go ahead and enlarge your borders. Strengthen your stakes. And can't nobody say you can't do it. Why? You can't be confounded. The truth is out. That the covenants of the eternal Father which he hath made unto us, O house of Israel, may be fulfilled. Yeah, come unto the Messiah and be perfected in him. And deny yourselves of all ungodliness. That's who you want you to deny yourself from. And if you should deny yourselves of all ungodliness and love Allah with all your might, mind, and strength, then his grace is sufficient for you. That by his grace you may be perfect in the Messiah. And that by the grace of Allah you are perfect in the Messiah, you can in no wise deny the power of Allah. And again, if you, by the grace of Allah, are perfect in the Messiah, and deny not his power, then are you sanctified in the Messiah by the grace of Allah through the shedding of the blood of the Messiah, which is in the covenant of the Father unto the remission of your sins, that you become holy without spot. Doctrine and Covenants 93:1. Verily, thus says Yahweh, it shall come to pass that every soul who forsaketh his sins and coming unto me and calling on my name and obeying my voice and keeping my commandments shall see my face and know that I am. That's what he's called self-sacrifice. And he said you can't see his face without Melchizedek priesthood. And I'm a Melchizedek priest. That's why he's allowing you to see his face or his truth through his words. He said, believe not in me, but at least believe in the work I did. Wow, I'm the Father's work. Holy, acceptable unto Allah. Leviticus 1:4, and he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering. That's why I told you thought I was lying when I had that dream and I went to the throne of heaven and I always saw this great light in the image of a man. And they told me the Father wanted me. Because the Father was putting his hands upon the mothers was putting their hands upon women, on people. But they told me that the Father wanted me in my dream. And I saw this big image, but all I saw was light. And I bowed the knee and he put his hand on my head. And I came back there in my dream. Leviticus 1:4, and he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering. And it should be accepted for him to make atonement for him. And I really had that dream. Whether it was a dream or not, I couldn't tell. It didn't seem like one. Which is a reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world. I do mean worldliness. But be you transformed Ephesians 5:8, for you were sometimes darkness, ignorant, stupid. But now are you light in Yahweh, walk as children of light in knowledge. First John 5:1-5, whosoever believeth Yahweh is the Messiah is born of Allah. And everyone that loveth him that begot, loveth him also that is begotten of him. That's called brotherly love. By this we know that we love the children of Allah. He said, don't love everybody. He said, love the children of Allah that walk in the light. You can be courteous and cordial. He said, but love him that is begotten of him. By this we know that we love the children of Allah. And we love Allah and keep his commandments. Genealogy and temple work. For this is the love of Allah, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. For whatsoever is born of Allah overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith, good faith. Who is he that overcometh the world, but he that believeth that Yahweh is the Son of Allah? Self-mastery. At another time, maybe I'll do this whole chapter by itself with precepts. But for right now, I'll just read it to you. Genesis 35:1-10. And Allah said unto Jacob, arise, go up to the Bethel and dwell there, and make there an altar unto Allah that appeared unto you when you find it from the face of Esau your brother, when you fled it from the face of Esau your brother. Then Jacob said unto his household, and to all that were with him, see, why is he always you only responsible for your household? And then they're responsible for their own actions. At least you told them. Then Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, put away the sorry, get a little water. Put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean. And change your garments. You already know what that's part of what that means, based on the previous teachings. And change your garments. And let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto Allah, who answered me in the day of my distress, Jacob's trouble, and was with me in the way which I went. They said Jacob ain't gonna have no more trouble. We ain't going back to captivity, only for the wicked parts of it. Why? Esau's trouble. And if you still doing things according to what Esau wants you to do, you're gonna have trouble too. Talking about this wicked. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were in the land, in their hand, in their doings, and all their earrings which were in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. And they journeyed, and the terror of Allah was upon the cities that were around about them. And they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. Man, I don't know if I read this before. It sounds like I ain't never read this before. I'm reading it anew. After they were obedient to the Most High, and they journeyed, and the terror of Allah was upon the cities that were around about them. And they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan. That is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. And he built an altar and called the place El Bethel, because there Allah appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. Who was that? Jacob. Esau. But Deborah and Rebekah's nurse died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak. And the name of it was called Alambakah. And Allah appeared unto Jacob again, and when he came out of Pandorium and blessed him, and Allah said unto him, your name is Jacob. Your name shall not be called anymore Jacob, but Israel should be your name. And he called his name Israel. That's why in the scriptures he often say Jacob and Israel. Because Jacob is the natural man, the natural seed. But the conversion, he becomes a God called Israel. Have you not read that you're a God? Even now are you the sons of God. John 1:10-14. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came into his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him of his own, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, the sons of Allah, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor by the will of flesh, nor by the will of man, but of Allah. Those are the ones he said, for whom he foreknew. And who could lay anything to their charge? And the word was made flesh. That's why you look like you look. And dwelt among us. And we beheld his glory, and the glory as the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. All praises to the Most High. All praises to his holy name. In the name of Yahweh. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.